Hello everyone! It is Tiff Twinkle back here with another video. And I'm joined by the lovely Performing Tarts here. And we both had this idea. Well, okay, we kind of brainstormed it a little bit. But now that convention season is done mainly for the Sydney crowd, because we're Sydney based.
I think it is done for the year.
Yeah, pretty much everything's done for the year for convention-wise now. That's it. There's no like small conventions or anything. That is literally it.
I believe Xmas was the last one.
Yeah, Oz Comic Con Xmas, which I'm still mad about.
I heard that was really good actually.
Yeah, I'm mad about that Oz Comic Con. You have some explaining to do.
Can we please have it? We're missing out on pop-up.
Yeah, exactly. But no, we're here with this convention roundup, as we're going to call it. Because we both pretty much went to the exact same cons. You only went to one extra con this year.
Tiny con.
Tiny con, but we basically went to the same exact con. So we did, like all the main cons, and then we also traveled down for PAX, which they obviously appeared in my video as well. But yes, I figured this is going to be a long video. I'm fully aware of that. I may also upload some clips and that to TikTok and that, and maybe give you the clips as well, depending on how we go. It's going to be an interesting one because we do have a few topics to talk about. So I'm also going to break this up into chapters as well. So you can use the timestamps down below as well, so that you can skip to which con you want to hear about the most. But I do have some notes, so it's time to actually get this going. Because I want to talk about a few things. So basically we're going to talk about our cons that we went to this year. We're going to talk about the pros and the cons of them. We're also going to talk about what our favorite con of all is. I'm pretty certain we both have the exact same answer to that, but we're not going to spoil it until later. But yeah, no. So we basically went to the same cons this year. We're going to talk about everything now, pros and cons and that. We're going to touch on certain subjects and that, and then anything that we can sort of, in the event that the organizers actually see this, it's good feedback and criticism for you. So we're not doing this in any way to say you guys suck or anything. We're doing this as a, hey, maybe possibly look into this or look into that, as actual feedback for your next event that you do. Because, not gonna lie, I've been doing this for 10 years now, and you've been doing it for about what?
Cosplaying to the level that I've been doing about 5 years. It was my 5-year anniversary. Though I went to my first Oz Comic Con, was my first ever convention back in 2014.
Yeah, so
2014,
we're almost
7-10 years, something like that.
So we're almost on the exact we've been going to cons for so long now. We know how it works and all that sort of stuff. So I would like to actually have a decent conversation about this, because I'm not gonna lie. So everyone knows we've been in ISO for the last 2 years pretty much, where no events have really happened, and now we're sort of slowly getting back into the swing of things. I genuinely want to help the cons in the future as well be able to look on this and basically take the feedback on board and be hey, this is what we actually want, not what's currently going on at this moment.
Not end up losing a convention basically.
Yeah.
Fans not liking it. Because we don't have enough conventions in a year.
Yeah, so okay, that's a downside for Sydney anyhow. We only have 3 cons if you don't count the smaller cons.
And smaller cons, it's
7 or 10.
7? 2?
Yeah, no.
What's the other ones?
Well, technically, if you count all the collector cons separately.
Yeah.
You got Comic Con, then you got Central Coast. And then, pretty much you do have, in total, for Sydney, you have about 7 or something cons. If you go, and that's the thing as well, is that we don't have enough as it is, and
we don't have enough in the sense of comparably to Americans, where they have a lot of their smaller conventions and then they have their massive conventions, at least from what I've seen on.
Same with the UK. Same with the UK.
UK has that as well.
But so we're going to start talking about the cons that we went to this year, and then we're going to obviously do our final thoughts and all that as an overall thing, say what our favourite con was and all that sort of stuff. So, without further ado, we're gonna roll the transition, and we're gonna talk about our first con. So, here we go. Let's go. All right, and we're back. We're here to talk about the cons that we went to this year. So, our first convention that we're going to talk about it's a smaller-ish con, but we actually both ended up going to it. Well, I went to it. I didn't really say that I was actually going to it, and I didn't even vlog it because life events happened that were very personal at the time, and I just needed a break and get away sort of thing. So I'm pretty sure you were aware of that. A lot of people were, which was very surprising for me to actually go to Central Coast Comic Con. For those that don't know, we live in Sydney, like the actual metropolitan area. This con was at the
race course up
the
there.
race course that's up in Central Coast, in Gosford area, I think it is, like West Gosford area. So it's a small local con, run by the local youth centre, I think, or like the youth service centre,
something like that.
I think it's I can't even remember off the top of my head. What's funny is my friends actually volunteer for it as well and help run it and that. But yeah, no, we're going to talk about that as our first con because we both ended up going to it. First thing that I got to say is I do like the fact that it's for a fundraiser. Like all the money that is earned from ticket sales and that goes towards the youth service organization that runs it. I think it's called like RYSS or something, or it's like RYSS or something.
Yeah.
It's something like that.
It's an acronym or something.
It's an acronym, but no, I really do like how everything goes towards that. It helps the organization that it is going for. Actually, the Regional Youth Support Services. So that's the actual group. Yeah. So yeah, the Regional Youth Support Services. It is a great organization to support and that, and we do love supporting our local like chat organizations and that. You know, every sort of bit helps in this time as well, like
especially after COVID.
After COVID. Yeah,
they didn't have a con. This was the first con back since 2019.
Yeah, 3 years almost. Yeah,
went to that one as well.
Yeah, no,
right.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's just a nice small con. It's like, it's very like chill. It's more chill out if you live in the area. Yeah. For like Sydney cosplayers and that, it is a bit of a trek for us.
It's only a 1 day con as well.
Yeah, so it's like, can we really? It's a
sense of, can you justify it? If you can justify going up, and if you've got friends up there or someone to really like stay with,
that's the main thing as well. Like, so I drive. That's no issue. For me, because like I can just drive up to the Central Coast and it only takes an hour. But on the train, however, depending on where you live in Sydney,
it was a good 3-hour trip from where I am.
Yeah, no, like literally. So my benefit is that I'm about 40 minutes from like my local train station, right, or something like that. But to get to the main station, which I believe is to get the train, I think it's what you have to go to either Central.
You gotta go to Central, and then you can catch a train through the the Central Coast train area.
I think it's like the Newcastle line or something.
Yeah, the Newcastle line that goes. I believe you go straight to Gosford. You don't change over, but like still, it is like a good 2 hours from Central.
Yeah, no, it's a trip.
A hustle.
It is a trip, and then even then, it's another 30 to 40 minute walk or a 10-minute bus ride from the actual station when you get
and then
off
you've
there.
Also got to take into consideration either if you're going on the day, if you're from Sydney, you'd have to get up really early in the morning. If you're going on the day, you've got to really
plan for it.
Yeah, plan for it. It's like plan your cosplay around it if you plan on cosplaying. Like, I personally am not a fan of cosplaying on trains because public transport and the public with cosplay can get really icky sometimes.
I mean, even then now, like when we wear our old clothing and that, people still get icky now, and it's like disgusting to see that. But no, I 100% agree with you. Like, if you have friends and that, it's worth it.
Yeah.
If not, you do have to plan, because also not only that, the services going back to Sydney stop at, I believe, at about 9:30, 10 o'clock ish.
Yeah, it's pretty early.
Yeah, it's like very early in terms of towards the night
Yeah,
time.
Really, if you're not driving, you've got to stay there. You can't just day trip it up.
Yeah. So.
And it's not worth the day trip if you're only going by yourself.
Yeah, no. If you're going with friends, however...
Yeah, if you're taking the day trip with friends and you're actually taking the whole experience with your friends, that's amazing. Because this convention, I find, is amazing for making friends and being with friends. It's not about the convention itself.
And also for photo shoots and that. Like, it's a different vibe as opposed to some of the other...
background as well, because we haven't had a race course background since...
Smash,
Rose Hill Smash. Cries.
But the only other con that I have for this, like, and it's only just the one con as well, it's more of like, there wasn't much for cosplays. Like, they had the cosplay comp and that.
Although, in my opinion, their cosplay comp's a little weird on how they organise it.
Yeah, they do it by age category, which is a bit how you go.
And then you've got to be like, you get a message to say, yeah, you've made it into the cosplay competition. I don't know. I remember that from like 2019. It was that's how that happened. There wasn't really anywhere to sign up, and you had to sign up on the day. You couldn't pre-register for it.
Yeah, I reckon I reckon doing pre-registering would actually benefit that the most, because then you're just like, okay, cool, I've done that and I don't have to worry about it on the day, because then you gotta, like, if you're doing photographs and that, you gotta take time out of your day with photographers and that, which, you know, me now, I slowly am starting to do that. It would become very annoying for photographers if you have to go and do something whilst we're in the middle of a shoot. And it's like, then I have to like it makes the photographer feel rushed. It also, like, if you're with friends and that, it makes them feel rushed and that, if you can't leave them.
Yeah, I do agree on that sense.
But other than that, like, 100%.
Casual convention, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, like, I didn't
as a big convention or like a major convention, it's a pass.
Yeah, like, I didn't cosplay to it. Like, as everyone knows, I didn't cosplay much this year. I actually did other things, like other projects this year as well. Like, just going and chilling with people, sure, why not? Like, it's fun. But going for, like, the actual convention itself, I agree, because, you know, it is a bit small. If you got more people to come join, 100% I reckon it could get better.
No, yes. And the thing was as well, like, they did have some areas for, like, cosplayers. Like, I love the fact that they had a chill out zone, and it was like, it was its own little section tucked away, and they were only really allowing only cosplayers to go in. They wouldn't let it, or like, they would allow handlers, like, if you were with the cosplayer, but if you were just, like, not in cosplay trying to get into this area, they had someone standing right there. I believe it was, you know, 3D Odyssey?
Yes.
Absolutely amazing work. They had a little booth out front of that, and keeping an eye on everyone as well, and making sure, like, they had water and little snacks in there, and they had a little repair room as well, which was amazing. And the people in there, I will say, were very sweet. Like, I had a little issue with a cosplay, something had fallen off, and they're like, oh, like, they gave me some bobby pins and, like, safety pins and such, and I'm like, oh, thank you.
No, that's another thing that I was a bit put off about, where the talks were.
Yeah. It was in that upstairs area. Like, I found it really cute that they were also including, I think it was some of the schoolworks and such. They had some, like, artists and such. They had like a competition that they ran with, like, some local, like, communities, like, with children and such, which I looked at those and they were, like, pretty alright. Like, there's some pretty talented people out there for, like, children and such. But yeah, like, comparably to the last one, they didn't have many in the way of cosplay guests as well. Cosplay guests, I believe they had Sushi, they had Willow, they had 3D Odyssey.
Someone else, I can't
remember who, which is pretty cool, because it's like, yeah, getting the, like, local cosplayers involved and such, but they had a few panels, and that's about it. Like, I remember seeing Willow's booth, because Willow was there with I believe her idol group, Fable, that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
But they
no.
only had a very tiny booth, which it was like a table. So I kind of wish they gave more space to these like cosplay guests.
Yeah, no, 100% agree on that. Like, overall, small con, but it's still a vibe if you've got the people to go with.
Yeah.
Like, but also, just be forewarned, you do need to plan if you live in the Sydney area, or you're even further south, for instance. Like, it is a trek and a half.
Yeah.
Like, so just keep that in mind. It is a decent like time with people, so don't fret on that, I guess. So yeah. But yeah, no, C4, you get like the thumbs up for a local con for us. Like as a hey, if you want to try it once, go ahead. But yeah, no. Now that we're done with C4, we're going to transition over to the next topic, which is Supanova. So let's do this. All right, and we are here now to talk about our next con, which is the next chronological con, I believe, which is Supanova. So
Yeah, the big boy.
the big boy now. We're on the big game. So Supanova, we do have a couple of things to talk about. We do have our pros and cons for this con this year. We're going to start with the pros though, because obviously we never start with the negatives first. We always end on the negatives so that you can help improve on this. But
do you want to say, full disclosure, I got my tickets for free.
oh yeah,
I didn't have to pay my ticket, so...
Fair. Okay, I had to pay for my ticket, so that's fine. I don't really mind. Alright, pros. Let's start with the pros. The first one that we actually have on here was actually surprising this year. There was a phenomenal artist alley this time around.
I was genuinely surprised. Like, there was a good range of stuff as well.
Like, there was all your fantasy, like, novels and all that on one side on, like, one row. Then they also had people who were selling fantasy, like, RPG accessories and that sort of stuff. I believe there was one that was selling, like, dragon dice or something like that.
Yes. The one that shaked and it sounded like bells that I really, really wanted, but it was the end of the convention and I didn't know that they were there, so I was kind of sad that I wasn't able to get them.
But, like, all your cute clothing accessory, like, vendors, my friend Pastel Axley. But there are just so many good stalls there this time around. Like, we obviously have the traditional ones that we see all the time, like Bot Twins and all that.
Bot Twins was there.
Parfait?
No, Parfait didn't have.
No,
booth.
that's right.
That
That's
was
right.
Later on.
Yeah.
Annalise Jane, I know I walked past her booth multiple times. It's because I love Critical Role and their art is big.
Yeah, their art is so phenomenal. Like, I never got a chance to buy anything because, like, I was busy running around getting footage and that, but I saw their artwork and I just went, fuck, that's phenomenal.
There was a lot of really good artists, and I really love when an artist alley is really big because it shows off more people's art. Like, it's not selective and it doesn't have
also,
like a limited range of what it is.
Oh, and also, it's not just like prints. As I said before, it was novels, comics, fantasy stuff,
I saw people
RPG
selling
accessories.
like resin art. I saw people selling literal like stuff they knit. Like I know the person that makes the really cute little mouses.
Yes.
Was there.
Yes.
Like there's so many creators.
Cute like clothing accessories as well. That
the lady that makes the really, really cute like 80s, 70s skirts that are all got all the pastel
I've seen her
bright colours.
stuff. It's
I've
so
been
good.
eyeing off her Buffalo Bill skirt for ages.
She still got it up for sale.
I think so.
Maybe we should get it, like, honestly. But no, like, this is the stuff that we love, Supanova, which also rolls into the next part, like, good vendors in general. Like, we have the same vendors for some things, but you also had different vendors as well this time around, I believe. There was actually a couple of changes, which I was super happy with, because... like, it's not the same things over and over again. Like, yeah, we got the Domino's store there, but that's
with the
like
cold pizzas.
Oh yeah, they were. They were something.
Weren't the best.
No, but no, like there were actual really good vendors this time around, and like it wasn't the same thing over and over again, which I appreciated the most.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm not gonna lie, there was a time before COVID happened. Obviously, there was a time where Supanova had the exact same vendors for like 3 years in a row, and it's like, while we love it, it gets boring for us.
You have the print already, and you're not gonna go and buy the exact same print again.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Especially if, like, I know I'm one of those people that I'll grab their business card and then I'll go on Etsy and I'll probably buy something off their, like, actual shop or their Etsy store. I always try to go for their actual shop over Etsy because Etsy is Etsy. But, like, it gets to a point where you've already got all of their stuff and you really want to support some more creators and buy more of this fan art, but you've already... It's like a give and take.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's valid. Like,
Yeah.
I'm 100% agreeing with you on that. Like, it's one of those situations where you don't want to be oversaturated with the same stuff over and over.
Yeah.
This technically could be a negative, like a con, which I can just touch briefly on. I want you to implement a system that if you've applied previously for Artist Alley and you got it, not saying to get rejected, but put on a back burner if like to try and get other people.
Yeah, get a good rotation going, like try and get more people who haven't like
boofed before,
if not like people that may have boofed at maybe other conventions but not your convention. Like try and get some more. Like, it'd be really cool if they could section a little area off for people who are just starting out.
Yes.
Like
your upcomers and that.
Your upcomers. Like, yes, okay, it could be, like, maybe towards the back or something, but it's still getting those people the opportunity to make money and get their name out there.
No, 100% agree on that. That's a brilliant topic, honestly. Like, Supanova, if you end up watching this video, please take that on board, because I think that is an immense thing. It's like, I'm not going to lie, like, I've just started out doing photography at cons because like I started this year at Smash. That was when I started. But like having that as well for like your cosplay photos and that, because I'm not gonna lie, I don't want the constant same photographer, which is I'm pretty sure it's the Supanova photographer. Which
Supanova's one is normally Steam Kittens, but Steam Kittens is very hard to get into. Like, I know me and my partner, we sit there 10 o'clock on the dot trying to get in through the site, and the site builds up really fast. I think Supanova could really benefit from having more official photographers.
Yeah.
And just, like, as much as Steam Kittens is amazing, their photography quality is amazing, but having more photographers for more people to get into is probably a big plus.
Yeah, no, 100% agree with that. Like that, that's a negative, but it's also it can work into being a positive if you actually allow more photographers to take photos and that. Like, I'm not saying like the likes of me and that. I'm saying the likes of quite a few people that I know. Matt Hudson photography.
Oh my God, Matt Hudson, the Valiant Knight.
Who else is there? Doofy Doors.
Doofy Doors.
But stuff like that, like where you have a variety of people as opposed to, like, not gonna lie, the same photos over and over again. But the photos are amazing nonetheless. We love them. I have a photo from Steam Kittens from 7 years ago, and it's of my Timo cosplay.
Every time Steam Kittens is at an event, me and my partner, we always try to get in. We, like I said, we're there at 7 o'clock trying to get in onto the wait list.
Yeah.
In as soon as possible, though. It's hard because obviously you can only do so much in a day with one photographer, and especially like being Steam Kittens being such a well-known name.
Yeah, no, 100% can agree on that. But yeah, no, that's actually a good topic that we didn't actually have on the list. Funnily enough. But yeah, no, I want to move on to the next one though, because this one is a very interesting one for the likes of us and that, because I do love panels / talks and like demonstrations and that.
Yes.
So I want to talk about this one. They had actually a phenomenal range of panels this year. It was like a good variety. So one of my friends, I believe, was doing a talk this year at Supanova, which I believe was about special effects makeup and that, which in cosplay can help so immensely. Special effects makeup and that, because like especially
in general,
especially like if you do like say like a two-faced cosplay, you have to have the burnt side, obviously, so you're gonna have your special effects makeup.
Personally with me, I do just the Lavore, so that's head to toe blue.
Yeah, no, exactly, 100% that. It's like, I want to see more stuff like that when it comes to like cosplays and any sort of techniques that you can improve on. And it's like,
honest, this is a bit of a hot take. The cosplay community, like at conventions, I'd love to see them take it up a notch. Like, I want to see those massive builds at a Supanova and a Comic-Con. Like,
okay,
you know, I find
okay, no, you know what? I'm gonna say this now. This is a freaking negative. Why the hell do we have prop restrictions? I get it that we're in a confined space. I 100% get that. But half the time you want to enter something, you end up having to lose a piece of it, or you have to put it in check or something, while you got to walk around without it, basically. Like,
also in that, why is prop check in such a hidden place half the time?
Oh, and also, like, I hate to say this, Supanova, I'm sorry, this is a negative. I'm sorry that this turned off from a positive thing into a negative thing. Please have actual cosplayers do your weapon check.
Yeah.
No. So, okay, this goes back to a time when I was at RTX and I wasn't allowed to take my sword in, because apparently it was too heavy. But I was carrying the sword close to my chest and it was within the prop limit and everything.
Yeah.
And yet they said, oh no, it's made out of this, and I'm like, no, it's not. I'm the person that made it.
Yeah. You listen to the cosplayer in that sense. They half the time know what it's made out of.
Yeah, no.
And you'd hope they know what it's made out of.
Yeah, no. Like, if you bought something online, sure. I can 100% agree on that. But if the cosplayer made it themselves and they can fully vouch for it and that, please listen to the cosplayer, because half the time... So, a friend of mine, their prop, they got their prop confiscated, right?
Oh, no.
Because it was too tall, right?
Yeah.
Then, this is not to call out anybody, but then there was a Junko cosplayer with a giant hammer.
Yes.
Do you see that?
Yes.
You had allowed that to go through.
Yeah. I know. I think Supanova really... Like, this isn't on the... There's a lot of really good volunteers. They work very hard. Though, I feel like the volunteers do need a bit of education.
Yes.
Hot take. Though, like, we absolutely, like, they're obviously taking their time to run this convention, to be honest, better than some of the organisers do. But, like, at the same time, it'd be amazing to see some of these, like, more initiatives of getting these organisers to be taught stuff. And, like, some of the volunteers, I know over the years, have been a bit hard to work with, especially when they're under so much pressure.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Days.
I agree with that sense. I love how this turned off from good panels and talks to that, but whatever.
Oh well.
No, but like I agree with that. Like, but no, as like a closing thing to the whole topic of that, for like good panels and talks and that, please try and include even more than what you had this year. Like, I would love to see like more cosplayers, like, because we'll probably talk about this at Smash, because Smash is a great example of this whole cosplay panel talk thing, right? They had, I think it was like 12 cosplay panels, I think, from memory. But Supanova, you had, I think, like 6 or something. It's still cool, but add a lot more, because you have the time slots and everything, and you have the stages there, because you had 3 areas that you could include more stuff. And I really love to, like, you know, I want to go and learn new techniques about how to make a wig, how to make a prop, how to do LED lighting or something.
Yeah. I find they very much focus their panels on their celebrities that they bring in. Because each celebrity primarily does a panel, whether that be on voiceover or just talking with the actual celebrity itself, which is amazing. It's the chance to actually connect with that, like, guest and celebrity, but also having those, like, educational panels would be amazing.
Yeah, no, it would be, especially for like new upcomers and that. Like I would love to see a panel about like cosplay photography, like actually given from a well-known photographer. That would be an incredible one. But you don't really see that, unfortunately. So, okay, so we got one more pro. They always continue to block off the walkway. Thank God.
I will agree on that one.
Thank God on that one. They always block it off because, like, they know that people like to walk in when they shouldn't be. Looking at you, Oz Comic Con.
Yeah.
But you know,
like, it does also come into the cause and effect of lobbyconning.
Yeah.
So a lot of people find it easier to lobbycon, which is obviously going to a convention but not buying a ticket for that convention. You just hang out outside, which if you can't afford to go inside a convention, this is like across every single convention. Like, don't feel like you have to buy a ticket for a convention.
No, that 100%. No.
But at the same time, it's like, I do agree on that sense of, like, it does make the convention a little bit more exclusive. Like, it makes you feel like you're in your own space. And a big part, especially because Supanova is done at Sydney Olympic Park, you get a lot of just randos.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people coming for the football. You get a lot of people coming for just, like, the bars there. You got, like, the NBA, the basketball.
The NBL, I think it is, yeah.
The sports ball.
But no, like, I 100% agree with you on that.
You get a lot of general people, like, just coming to Cafe Freeman Park, and they wander in and they're like, oh, what's this event? And it kind of can come to some bad situations. I know I've been in a few. I know there are more horror stories out there.
Yeah, no, 100% agree on that one. That, what year was it? There was a year that a friend of mine got into an argument with someone because they were drunk at the time. And, they almost ripped their cosplay. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
So that also comes into, not with just the outside public, but like general cosplay etiquette as well. I know that's a thing. Anyway, on a random topic there.
No, it's a random topic, but like it kind of worked for it. We're going to move on to the cons now, Supanova. It's time to talk about these. Because, we have a couple of things that we need to talk about. Well, we have 3 things mainly, but we've technically talked about 3 more things already.
Yeah.
So, first thing that I want to talk about is guests.
Yes. Okay. Opinion, we haven't had any good guests since, like, even before COVID. Like, I think the last time I can remember a good guest being there was probably 2018, 2017.
Who was there?
Chris Hemsworth has been there, but...
He did one day, though.
He did one day, but he wasn't even supposed to be there. He just was there, and he's, like, dragon acts, and I'm like... Australian actors right there. But, like... we were watching Torchwood before, and we were talking about how John Bowman was there.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's Tim Tam Tower.
The fucking Tim Tam Tower. No, but like this is the thing.
I contributed to.
This is the thing, though. Okay, so the guest list this year wasn't really. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. The only reason I say that is because the only real big celebrities that were there were the twins.
Yeah.
So, like, there's nothing against them. We have nothing against them. Obviously, like they're big in their own way and that sort of stuff. We 100% agree with that. But
they're not A-list celebrities.
Oh, and wasn't it? No, sorry, Mercy's voice actress.
She's. I think this is the second time she's been here though. There was a few.
She went to Brisbane or something. She didn't come to Sydney.
No. I saw her as Mercy.
So, but this is the thing, right? Like, the only reason we consider her big is because we play Overwatch. We've been with Overwatch. I've been with Overwatch from basically the start of the game.
Same.
So, like,
I have been a Mercy main since the start of the game, since the original ult.
So, having said that, it's like, I would love a big A-list celebrity there. Like, one that I'm going to talk about and mention that I consider really huge, and I was super lucky to do it, was the fact that I got to see Stan Lee.
Okay, I really wanted to see him so badly. R.I.P. But, like, yeah, no, I think that's the last person we've ever had that has been an official guest that was lined up for it that we managed to get. That is the last time I can think of someone actually being here.
So, yeah, when I went and saw Stan Lee, that was in 2014 or something, or 2015. 7 people after me, that's where they cut off the line.
Oh my god, you're so lucky.
Pausing the video.
Wait, yes, please, you have to show me. Holy shit. You do not say you met Stan Lee and go, yes, and that's the end of the story. Being able to go to the convention. But I remember it being all over the news.
Alright, so I stood in line with this for 6 hours.
I would as well, to be honest.
It is there. I have his signature. I have his actual signature. I waited 6 hours in line for it. So I have that signed. That is my one thing that I would always get signed, no matter what. Because hot take, I don't want pop vinyl signed, depending on what the pop vinyl is.
Cold take, I agree.
Okay, so... yeah, that's a fun little story that I got to get an autograph from Stan Lee. And
I think my biggest autograph I've gotten at Supanova was 20... What year did he come? Vic Mignogna. It was just before he got kicked out of everything. I managed to get 2019
then, wasn't it?
No, it was before that.
He got kicked out in 2019 or something. It was fairly recent.
Yeah, no, it was It must have been 2018 then. Because that's when I met a lot of my now cosplay friends and started really getting in the cosplay community. So that would have been 5 years ago. But no, yeah, I think that's the most important one to me, in the sense that Oran High really got me through a lot of things during high school. Vic Mignogna being Edward Elric, oh my god, like Edward Elric, just Full Metal Alchemist, is my favorite, all-time favorite anime. When I tell you, I was shaking going up to him. Last time he was in Sydney.
2018.
There we go. Thought so, 5 years ago.
Yeah, so...
because that was really the start of my cosplay journey.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Supanova, seriously, try and get some more guests on. Honestly, I get it. It's hard because, you know.
Yeah, it's hard with COVID. Not many people want to travel, and especially Australia is very hard for American actors to get out here. Just in general, this is across every single convention.
Yeah, no, 100%.
It's just when you compare our conventions to some, say, like MCM and a lot of UK ones where they're not in America but they're still out of the country type thing, their guest is pretty amazing.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree on that, because I would love to meet, say, hypothetically speaking, a guest that I would like to meet might be the voice actor for Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy or something, or Keanu Reeves or something. That would be wholesome though. But no, seriously, I would love to have a really big celebrity that would come out and do something for Sydney.
To be honest, that's across every single convention at the moment.
This is true. We'll touch on that one later. Yeah. I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know which one, because they shall come out here at one stage or another. What are you talking about?
Chrissy, wake up.
Oh, her. No, I was talking about Critical Role.
Oh, yeah.
Two different things.
No. I agree, though. Bring them out here. Fucking... Okay.
I will say, though, that I do know that they're very expensive because they're all...
So, that's just a general thing. Guests, I think, need to be slightly improved on, but obviously I can understand with constraints and that, and the fact that they have to make money and all that sort of stuff. I do agree with that. So it's something not in our control, but I would like it taken on board so that you can then be okay, look, maybe we should try and get new guests. As we just said, Critical Roles, for instance.
There's a want for it.
Yeah, there is an actual want for it. As opposed to the other celebrities that are there, they're just oh, they're there.
Yeah, it's nice to see them, but once they've seen them, it's oh, they're back again. Do I really need to go and see them for the 5th time? They could be amazing people, but it's more in the sense of just kind of you want variety.
You know who I would love to see come out here, because I don't think they've ever come out here. David Tennant or Matt Smith, one of the two.
I don't think they've come here. I know Peter Capaldi has been out here, but
Peter Capaldi has.
He came out here for Doctor Who Fest.
Yeah, but no, I don't think they have been out here. And the thing is, David Tennant would be a perfect
time for David Tennant at the moment. He's David Tennant. Just full
because didn't Good Omens get renewed for its second season?
I really want to meet Taki Waititi. I'm probably saying his name wrong. You know,
Yeah.
like,
I would love to have a fucking conversation
holy
with him
shit,
one
he
night.
would be amazing. See, he's only New Zealand. They were,
No. You know what's worse? No. You know what's worse?
They were out here. They were in Sydney.
No, you know what's
during a
worse?
convention season.
No, you know what's worse? He lives here.
Yeah.
He lives here.
Even the guy that played Steve Bonnet in Our Flag Means Death. Like, he's New Zealand. He comes over here quite often.
Yeah. No, 100%. Take notes. But yeah, no. I think we're gonna move on to the next one because we have talked about guests quite a bit.
We're getting off topic.
Okay. This one is a big one for both of us. This one shits us to death at the moment. No cosplay comp.
Yes.
Okay.
As a competitive cosplayer, oh, at least I like to think I am, it really, really hurts me to miss out on it.
Okay, so my biggest issue is I understand that they were doing Odyssey for a couple of years. Like, they did it for like 2 or 3 years, and then obviously COVID happened, so that can't be helped. But the fact that you haven't brought it back yet, and you just brought on the cosplay parade, question mark, whatever it is.
So what it is, because this is how I got my free ticket for, so what it is that you go on, you do a little walk, they talk about your cosplay, you gotta submit like a little blurb. One thing I do like, you have to have made your cosplay. You are not allowed to enter in anything, like bought.
Yeah.
You cannot enter anything bought. And as well, they do get a little frisky on commissions. So they prefer if you yourself are able to say, yes, I have made this cosplay.
Yeah.
Which I do like. It's still keeping that essence of the like whole cosplay competition. The whole thing of you enter a cosplay competition to be judged.
Yes. No. That I agree on, because, like, I'm not gonna lie, we know quite a few professional cosplayers. One that I know personally is Vera Chimera. They literally do phenomenal work. At Oz Comic Con this year that happened, I saw that they were there. They had their Vi from Arcane, and it's like,
It was really good.
yeah, no, literally, like, I just love the competitive nature, as you said. Like, it's...
Also, this year, okay, I understand it. Their sponsors kind of got tossed around after what happened. So they were kind of just grabbing for sponsors. Last year, they had Lumen's Workshop sponsor this cosplay parade. So every single cosplayer got a goodie bag of Lumen's.
Yes.
So you got foam clay, you got little foam samples.
Yes, I remember this.
You got like a little lolly and such. It was actually really, really good. And like to the point where I used that foam clay on my this year's cosplays. I used it on my Keyleth stuff. It was really, really good. This year they got Rubik's, as in Rubik's Cube, to sponsor it. And it's how they were doing these little goodie bags for it. So you could, when you enter, you get a goodie bag. But the problem is you had to go back to the Cosplay Central booth and actually told them like your name and your postal address so then they can post it out to you. Problem is, everyone that entered, I heard nothing about it. So I don't even know if they ended up, like, what was in it in the end. And I'm guessing it was just Rubik's Cube stuff, which, what cosplayer wants Rubik's Cubes? That's so weird.
And also, this is another fault as well. Who are your actual sponsors as well? I logged onto your website just to see, because usually you have to say who the sponsors are.
Yeah.
They're not there.
Oh.
They're not there.
Oh my god, they're not. They used to be right down the bottom.
So,
Yeah.
Supanova, I do have a question. Like, I want to know who your sponsors are going to be for next year already, because, like, you know, I noticed the fact that, well, look, I'm not going to lie, like, Pop Culture used to sponsor, and they weren't even there this time around, I think.
Yeah, I think they pulled out. They were one of the companies that pulled out.
Yeah. But, like, that's the thing. I want, like, the actual, you know, sponsors that are associated with whatever it is. Like, hell, fucking, I wouldn't mind, what is it? Singer Sewing?
Singer,
Yeah, I would love them to sponsor the cosplay con. But it's like, you know, stuff like that. Like, that's what you want as a...
I think they were actually there as well. I'm surprised they didn't sponsor it. So I'm pretty sure Singer was there. So
yeah.
Because I was looking into getting, I believe, a sewing machine or an embroidery, like a new machine. And I was like really tempted. Yeah, it's nothing. I generally didn't even know that.
Yeah. So, that's, yeah, we need to look at that later. But no, like, honestly, 100%, like, definitely get,
Yeah.
you know.
And the whole cosplay area, there's not much there.
No. This also falls back onto the whole cosplay HQ or whatever it is.
Yeah, the cosplay HQ. So what it is literally, you got Steam Kittens, because I remember seeing it. Steam Kittens, you have the booth where you had cosplayers there, but they were just pics. There wasn't full booth setups. And then you had a little, like, what's the guy? The Bob the Builder looking guy?
Oh, the cosplay repair?
Yeah, the cosplay repair with the Bob the Builder looking guy. I don't know his actual name. And then you have, like, the corner bit where you can take, like, photos, which are a bit lower quality.
I was frustrated with the fact that last time that Supanova happened, it was actually in a much more bigger area.
I've heard that because they had complaints with that other side, but at the same time, I'm like, I still like it over that side.
Okay,
like...
no. I'm going to say this. The only reason people complain, you didn't put enough signage up to say, hey, Artist Alley is here this time around.
I heard it was about the lighting.
No, it was about Artist Alley.
Okay.
Because they threw Artist Alley in there that one
year.
Yeah. That was the issue. So Artist Alley people were complaining because they weren't getting enough sales, and it's like, well, you didn't advertise enough about it.
That's silly.
Yeah, so that's on both Artist Alley, like, people that complained, and then also the event organisers that didn't actually put the signage up properly, because there was only one signage for the cosplay theatre. There was only one sign for that. No one knew that Artist Alley was there. Unless you looked at the map.
Yeah, or you kind of stumbled into it because that's where the stage was as well.
Yes, that.
So I remember going and seeing Chris Hemsworth in there.
Yep, exactly, 100%. So that's just like, you know, our thing. I want the cosplay comp back as well, and I also want the cosplay HQ to be slightly bigger than what it was this year.
Feature a few more, like, actual booths for cosplayers, like permanent booths for cosplayers.
Yeah, agreed, 100%. Okay, this last one's mine, but they're never gonna fucking change this. I don't even know why I bothered putting this on here. Give us a goddamn lanyard.
Yeah.
Give us a goddamn lanyard. I don't want to have to take a photo and I have to try and Photoshop that out. I get it, you do it so that you can't let anyone else in, but a lanyard would be so much better with your actual name scanned onto it, i.e. Pax. Because Pax, when you registered it, your badge was registered to your phone number and that.
Yeah, your name.
I'm looking at you, Supanova. No. Seriously, I get sick of that. I get sick of the fact that I get the wristband and it's like, I have to live with that for 2 days.
I don't like it in the sense of when I wear gloves, it gets stuck there. Like, what was it? Key lift. I had,
I'm assuming
high gloves, and, like, I had to try and work out how to fandangle it underneath while also being able to show it.
Yeah.
It was a fun time.
No, please, lanyard. We don't ask for much. Lanyard doesn't cost that much to print, I believe, from memory. Please. That's all we ask for. It makes it easier on our life. But that's pretty much done with Supanova this year. As an overall con, it's Supanova. We've been doing this now for a few years, and it's like, it's the same stuff over and over again, like, in terms of that. It's great that we see new Artist Alley stuff sometimes, and bigger Artist Alley.
I only go for the Artist Alley and the community.
Yeah. But yeah, you get the standard pass from us of like, hey, you can attend it if you love your pop culture and stuff. Like,
yeah.
There's nothing much more we can say about it.
Yeah, you can boycott it, but it's always going to kind of be there. You're always going to have people going to it. And my take on it is that, like, we don't have enough conventions. If you're able to get a free ticket in, and there's possibilities to get free tickets in, like you can booth, you can, well, if you're willing to pay the money to booth, you can volunteer, you can do a lot of things. And as well, like, it is valid to just lobbycon it.
Yeah, no, 100% agree on that. I 100% agree with all those statements, so. Alright, Supanova, done.
Yeah.
Now, we move on to the next one, which is a very interesting one for me. So, transition to SmashCon. Alright. So now comes the fun one. We're back with Smash. Okay, so the only reason that I say this, full disclosure, I was given a media pass this year for SmashCon. So thank you again, Smash, for allowing me to vlog there. It was actually really fun to be able to like get behind the scenes and all that sort of stuff, and like, you know, all the con floor and that of like what it is to actually go there. It was a fun experience to have a media pass, and I really hope that you guys allow more content creators, like local content creators, to be able to come out and, you know, vlog about your con and that, because it was a phenomenal con. Like, so Smash as a whole, I still love it in terms of like, you know, the vibe and all that sort of stuff. There's one point that we're going to touch on, like, in the cons. It's something that, you know, we're very big on, but we want to talk about the pros first. The first pro is a joint one. It's the Artist Alley / vendors. This one was interesting this year. There were a lot of different vendors than what I'm usually there to see. So I don't know if you noticed, but there was a few. So there was obviously the Genshin Impact one.
Genshin Whale was there. Genshin Whale was massive. Like every time I walked past Genshin Whale, there was a massive.
But like that's the thing, right? Like that was the first time it was there, and it was a massive hit, which I really absolutely loved. Same with like all the artist alleys. They had different artist alleys this year, which I was super happy about. Because like it was a good freaking variety as well. It wasn't even like a bad, like there wasn't a single bad artist alley that I didn't want to see.
No.
Everything was phenomenal.
On that as well, how they organize the artist alley. Like they organize it in alphabetical order and then number order.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to find a certain booth, you literally just, like most artists would have like an Instagram, they'd have it up and you were able to find it so easy, and there were maps all around telling you where each booth was and the name of the booth.
I love that.
I love that so much, especially when I've had a friend where they're like, hey, I found this merchandise here, and I'll be like, oh, what's the name of the booth? And then I just go over to like the little pictures that were around, find the name, find where, and it was like convenient.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. 100% agree. And they had maps on like most pillars. Yeah, they had little maps and like numbers and all that. But no, it was seriously such a good thing. Seeing all the figure vendors and all that there as well. Seeing.
Although I will say with the Dealer's Alley, I didn't like that there was so many bootlegs.
The Dealer's Alley?
Dealer's Alley, Dealer's whatever it was. There were quite a few stalls that were just selling bootlegs.
Ooh.
Yeah. Smash, if you can like actually check first what they're selling, because there's a lot of places in the dealers area, because dealers area you think, oh yeah, it's going to be a lot of people that sell figures and like own stuff, like own collections, or if not stuff like that, like official merchandise. There's a lot of people that were just Alibaba resellers. And obviously Alibaba has a reputation for just being bootleg after bootleg after bootleg. And it's not just the figures, but it's like a lot of different merchandise, like just general merchandise was fake, and it's really disappointing. Because because obviously a lot of people, like a lot of younger cosplayers and a lot of younger like people that got into anime over the COVID, like see the official figures being like $200, $300, and then they see a bootleg being $30 and they go for the bootleg, and it's like, no,
100% agree on that. There should be like checks when they do that. But look, we're not going to talk about that like in further detail because it is a topic of its own, but like, that's fine. But no, like I do love also the clothing vendors there as well.
Yes.
Yes. One is obviously Living Lewd, which I wear proudly. I don't not wear, if that makes sense. Like I pretty much wear that in most of my outfits. But I'm happy that they were there, and I'm happy like there were quite a few like other vendors there that were selling like accessories and that. So that's always a plus and a bonus. But yeah, no, the vendors and that there, I feel as though they were really good.
Yes.
I feel as though the artist alley was phenomenal as per usual, because Smash I think had I don't remember the exact count, but it was about 150 something artists.
Yeah, it was massive, and this is also including artists from all over Australia, plus artists from different countries come over.
Yeah,
like I know a friend of mine who's from New Zealand that came over just for Smash.
Yeah, no, that's what we love about it, is that it's always a very diverse group of vendors and like artist alleys and that. And
it's stuff you haven't seen before.
Yeah, no, it is. Like, not gonna lie, this is another topic, is there was a lot of Genshin stuff in there, but obviously Genshin is
it's hard when obviously something's very popular, like although at that point Genshin had been out for a good year and a half, maybe even 2 years. Like this was like just before Sumeru, still in the hype of Inazuma type mid-ish point. But like, yeah, there's a lot of Genshin. I would have loved to see more anime over just Genshin Impact, but that also comes down to what the artist likes, what the artist knows what will sell.
Yeah, I did notice there was a lot of Spy X Family.
I did notice that as well. I can't remember how far out from when Spy X Family was.
They just finished the first season.
Yeah.
Like the first part or whatever it was. But I seriously loved it, because this is also the only reason we're putting this in the vendor thing. They had take the photo with like, the cardboard cutouts.
Crunchyroll was promoting that, which...
Shut up, I know what you're talking about. Fix your goddamn lines.
Fix your whole goddamn convention.
Don't come back to Sydney. No, come back to Sydney though. Because...
Come back to Sydney better. Come back as Madman. Bring back Madman, Anime Fest, whatever you want to call yourself now. Bring that convention back.
Okay. Alright. So, next topic. This is one that you love the most. Cosplay comp.
Cosplay comp.
So, for those that don't know, Smash was the one that was hosting WCS, which is World Cosplay Summit. We can't complain about that. Like it's fucking World Cosplay Summit. It's a competition where you have to make everything of it anyhow, and you have to submit a portfolio. What more could you want? Like
I've been watching the summit for a solid take every single year. I try to get it. I try and support all the cosplayers, and it's always phenomenal. Like it's also not run by Smash. It's held at Smash, but it's run by the
WCS.
World Cosplay Summit organizers, which is like, oh my god, I don't think it's a massive team behind it. If not, I think
it's like 10 people or something.
Yeah, it's literally the cosplayers in the event, like from past years, helping run it. It's amazing.
Yeah. There's not really much we can say about that. Like, it's pretty much it.
And then the normal cosplay masquerade events and such. That was pretty alright. It was pretty stock standard.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Can't really complain.
Yeah.
Alright. This one I really love, because I really do appreciate some of these people that put in the work for this. The photographers. This time around. Because this is going to go into the negative later, like the cons of the con. No, but okay, I do want to talk about this, okay, because I loved the photographers that stuck around. So like for a couple of hours that we know, Doofy Doors Matt Hudson, I think, was there outside. I think he was.
I didn't even see.
There were quite a few photographers that like we know in Sydney that were there, and they were doing their best with the fact that, okay, so full disclosure, the con was sold out. Like, full disclosure, like, you could not buy a ticket.
It was very sold out.
So we appreciate every photographer that's stuck by, but fun fact, this is where I actually started my photography. So the basic rundown of the story. Do you want to tell the story about why I ended up taking photos of?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, like.
Yeah. Basically, I wasn't able to find many photographers during the day. Was walking around, ran into this one, we were talking, and I was like, yeah, I haven't, like, actually taken many photos today, which I was really sad, because I was in my brand new Card Captor Sakura cosplay. Little to no photos all day, if not, like, if I did get a photo, it was from some random person that I never saw again. And you're like, oh, yeah, let's just go and take photos. I was like, okay.
Yeah, no, that was the thing that made me start taking photos, was the fact that you said no one got photos of you, and it's like, look, this can be a negative as well, but it's also like there are people that did take photos of cosplayers and that, which I appreciate so much for whoever they were. I don't know all of their names, but there were a few.
There was so many, especially on that like main outside strip.
Yes,
there was photographers every single little.
And on the roof.
Well, that was after we discovered that, hey, the security is actually pretty chill up there.
Yeah.
Which I find hilarious.
But no, at the end of the day, there was a lot of good photographers there, so I'm just super happy with that. The vibes overall, they were great, as per usual, because it's Smash and we fuck around in the city. It's great.
Yeah, we go out for dinner. Oh, dinner was really nice.
Oh, dinner was. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Okay, this is the moment. Cons.
Cons. Ugh.
This is the big one that we're going to talk about, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this. Tickets.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say this now. I'm legitimately going to say this now. Smash, you should not have honoured the tickets from the previous year. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say that here and then. You should have just taken the loss with the money, and you should have just done it brand new. Because, okay.
Or at least not honour the ones from 2020.
Yeah.
Give it a good year's gap.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you this because I'm very passionate about this. Okay, so I am very passionate about this topic because literally. So I was talking to you about this. I believe. I think we were on Discord call together. So no, that was it. We were all in a Discord call and we were talking about with Smash and that. So Smash was supposed to happen in 2020, didn't happen, and yet they sold tickets for it, which is fair.
Well, I believe they're selling the tickets in the point where we were like, oh yeah, it's just 2 weeks of lockdown, we'll be alright.
Yeah, no. So they were selling tickets to that, then the con didn't happen. Fair enough, okay? But then they were saying that tickets would carry over to next year, which, fine.
Do you remember them also pushing back the con all the time?
Yeah, that was the whole...
pushing it back a month, and then pushing it back a month, and then pushing it back a month, and then cancelled it. It was like, oh yeah, no, we're just gonna do it next year.
And they honoured the tickets for that, so that's fine, right? That's fine, because there wasn't that many tickets actually being sold then.
Yeah.
So,
because that was so early.
Comes 2021, where they put a date out, and they did the exact same thing. They started selling tickets and that. Then, obviously, stuff happened.
Delta hit, I believe.
Yeah, and it was really bad, so everyone went into lockdown. So the con got cancelled. Okay? The tickets then would carry over to 2022, which the con happened.
Yeah.
Now, the problem was, you're honouring all the previous tickets who... By the way, no one even turned up for some of them. Like, it was like 40% of people didn't show up with previously held tickets or something.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Or I don't know the actual number, but it's a rough guesstimate. And other people couldn't buy tickets for the con. They had to literal lobby con. Yeah.
Which is really sad for a lot of the people that found conventions through COVID that were just had no idea of this convention in Sydney. They're brand new. A lot of people found anime during sitting down doing nothing. So they'd see Netflix has got anime. Oh, I'm going to watch this. Oh, I'm going to go over to Crunchyroll or whatever and watch all this anime. Oh, there's a whole convention where everyone loves this topic that I love. I really want to go to it. Oh, it's sold out. And it's sold out long before they all got into it.
Yeah, and this is another issue as well, is the fact that if I didn't get my media pass this year, I would have missed out on the con completely.
A lot of people actually were like that. A lot of people were, I know, being friends with a lot of people from the idol community and such, were holding out for their performance tickets. And I do know people that missed out on tickets because they were holding out for the performance ticket, which gets you a free entry in for one day. And yeah, just missed out on the con completely because they didn't get tickets.
Yeah, no. I only got told about my media pass about 2 weeks before the event. Tickets were already sold out by then. So I was having to... Because here's the thing. If I bought a ticket, that ticket was non-refundable, even though I got authorized for a media pass. Which, I'm sorry to say, Smash, you need to fix your refund policy on that anyhow. If I apply for a media pass, but I also buy a backup ticket, I don't want to have to then sell it on to someone else. Or, like, sell it to my friend or something, because there's also policies that you put up on your website saying that you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to have someone else's ticket as well. So it's like, you're basically shooting...
Do you also remember people selling the tickets more than they were worth?
Yeah.
I remember seeing that going around, and that was a big thing of don't sell the ticket more than it's worth, because it's actually illegal.
Yeah, it's actually illegal.
You cannot do that. And people were doing it. And then you had the issue of scalpers and scammers.
Yeah, no. But, like, as I said, first of all, you shouldn't have honoured the tickets from the previous years. You should have taken your losses and refund them all. Because now you ended up in a situation where you oversold the con again. And then second of all, you know, everyone's trying to get approval for your tickets and that. And I'm not going to lie, 2 weeks is not enough. Because I was so fucking worried that I was going to miss out on that con. Only to then finally be told, okay, yeah, you're getting your media pass. Which, I don't have it up here. I used to have it on my door. But yes, no. Please, in the future, consider this when you're doing cons in the future, that you need to, at least, like, if I'm approved for a media pass, I would like to know beforehand, because, oh wait, hang on. Alright, bear with me. I'm getting my phone up. Smash. Okay, yep. Okay, so here it is. I have the actual email, and I got sent to it. That was sent to me on the 27th of June. Okay? That was sent to me on the 27th of June, which was 2 weeks away from the actual con date, I believe, because it was like, what?
Plus minus, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, you sent me my ticket, like, so close to the date that I was like, I was really worried that I was actually going to miss the con entirely. No.
Close enough.
It was still within a small amount of time frame. So about 3 weeks before the con actually happened, and it's like, I didn't get my notification until then. So it's like, I would have liked to have been told earlier so that I could prepare what I needed. So on the day I needed to make sure that, like, you know, that I went and got my ticket early, because this also is another thing as well that we're going to talk about now as a ticket thing in general, is the fact that we were talking about ticket pickup on the day of Smash, or the day before on that as well. The problem that I had with it was the fact that it's either I pick it up the day beforehand or I pick it up on the day of the con. And the problem was if I picked it up on the day of the con, it was I had to go super early in the morning, and then, you know, I kind of had to wait around, I guess, because, like, there was nothing really for me to do. So, but this is also the other point that we wanted to bring up, which I agree with on your part, because we went to a con that actually had this already, which was PAX. So, allow con goers, like regular con goers, not the media passes, not the exhibitors, not the dancers or anything, allow regular con goers to pick up their badges. Because, I'm not going to lie, I felt really bad. I said this to all of my friends this year, when I went to Smash. I felt extremely bad for the fact that I got to skip the queue.
And that was a long... Some people waited 2 to 4 hours. It was, like, down around the building. It was crazy.
Yeah, it went all the way to, like, Harborside Shopping Centre, and it was like... It didn't look like it was moving. So when I went there, right? So I ended up going there, and I bumped into a few people. I'm not gonna lie. You can see it on the vlog. And then I basically had to ask someone, hey, am I able to just go through? I showed them my media pass, and then she said, yeah, go through. I had so many death stares on the day because they were like, why do I get to go that way? And it's like, I do agree on this point, allow us to go another route, not the way that I actually went, which was with the actual line itself. So I got to skip all of that.
No, I had to wait in that line. Yeah. I think I got the lucky end. Because I remember getting there both days, like, right as the doors had entered. If not, it was, like, just before people started moving. So the line was... It was moving. It wasn't as bad as what Crunchyroll Expo will be.
Oh.
From that point. But at the same time, it was like, yeah, you're standing out, like... half the time missing out on stuff. Like, people had early morning performances and any early morning panels and early morning meet and greets and all of that stuff they wanted to do, and they just couldn't get in.
Yeah,
which was a bugger.
Yeah, no, 100%. Which then also goes on to the point of, it's like, okay, so another part about the tickets and the problem with like all the lines and that, Smash, we've been saying this for years. Please make a single weekend pass for the people who buy your weekend package. I don't want to have to constantly line up to get 2 lanyards each day. I do not want to have to do that, because if I buy a weekend pass, I assume I am getting a weekend pass and I get to go straight through. No, instead I have to show my ticket again. I then have to wait in line, which sometimes can take, as you said, like quite a couple of hours and that. And then it's like, we've already missed out on stuff like that. If it's anything to go by, look, I get it. You've been doing that for years and it's been fine up until now. But you're at the ICC. You kind of need to speed it up to get people through the door.
Yeah, it's become big enough to the point where you really need it. Like, I don't remember in the past Smash ever selling out as well. Like, you were always able to buy tickets at the door. This was the first year where they kind of oversold. They
oversold and they stopped ticket sales at the door completely, so you couldn't buy a ticket at the door. That's like one of the major cons of that convention, is that the fact that I had to I had to wait to see if I was approved, along with all these other people who were also waiting as well to get approved and that. B, you oversold because you honoured tickets from the previous year when you technically should have just sold them, refunded them, to then be able to sell tickets. And then third as well, you don't do a weekend pass, so now you get all these massive lines because people have to wait. And it's like, it does become annoying and a threat to cosplayers and that, because they want to go, and then a lot of them are stuck outside and they're forced to lobbycon, and along with photographers and that.
Yeah, especially if you're trying to get to a photo shoot.
Yeah,
that was my thought process of on the first day, me and I did a group cosplay from Love Live. We did all flowers, and we wanted to go and get some photos done early in the morning, but while we still looked really pretty and such. But we were all kind of stuck in this line.
Yeah, no.
As well.
Because that was with you and...
Me, Neko-chan cosplay, and our good friend Maui.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, some good friends of mine.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that 100% agree. Ooh. Your favourite one. Your favourite topic.
What?
The roof.
Oh. The roof... Okay, as much as I love the roof as well, the roof... I don't like the photos people take on the roof.
No, I don't think that's the whole topic we were talking about. But
that's the whole topic, but also just on a random tangent, I don't like the photos. I love being on the roof and hanging out on the roof. That's the funnest part of the whole convention, is that you have your own little space to hang out that isn't inside of the convention, because the convention gets hot and you don't want to be around so many people. You want your elbow room. But I'm kind of sad that we didn't find out the roof was, originally the roof was closed. You weren't allowed to be on the roof. They were like, no, we're going to have security. They're going to be all strict about it. And then come, 2 o'clock on the Saturday, everyone found out, security was letting people up on the roof.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we found out on this, like, at 2 o'clock or something, the roof was open. So we were like, yeah, fuck it, let's go up to the roof for a little bit so that we can get some fresh air.
Yeah.
Like...
And even at that, it was, like, not many people knew about it. I knew a lot of people only found out once the convention was finished, like, on the Monday, that the roof was open because people were taking, selfies and TikToks on the roof, and people were like, oh my god, you were able to go on the roof? It's like, yeah, because no one knew.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Which, like, and a lot of people do come to Smash for that iconic roof shot. Like, it is, as much as I personally don't like it, just in the sense that I've been in Sydney and around Sydney conventions at the ICC for a little too long, and now it's kind of like, oh, it's the roof. A lot of people want that photo up there because it just shows that they were at Smash.
Yeah, exactly. No, 100% agree. I agree on that one.
Yeah. And like, every place kind of has their little iconic moment, and it's hard when you take away that.
Yeah, like
space.
Supernova and Oz Comic Con is Kathy Freeman Park.
Yeah, Kathy Freeman Park, the tree in the centre that gets overdone, and half the time you get photo bombed. That's why I don't like taking photos there.
No, that's why I really liked when I took photos of your Jester at OzCon.
Yeah, in that little strip bit.
Yeah,
that's really good
because it was different
Yeah.
to what everyone was doing. What's another one as well? Pax is the area out the front.
Yeah, with the what's the slatey bits that
Yeah.
kind of everyone gets that photo there.
Yeah.
I know Brisbane is the air vents.
Yes,
you can
yes.
get the cute little Marilyn Monroe moment. Like, everyone has their little place where
See,
it's
the
iconic.
thing is, we can't shoot at Tumbalong Park and that without fear of the rangers and that kind of
Yeah,
stuff,
and
which-
as well, it's hard when it's very flat. And as well, I remember they had gates up.
Yeah.
You couldn't even be on the grass in general.
Until eventually I just said fuck it and let's take photos, and we managed to get some photos.
Yeah, but no, yeah. It's a nice area, but ICC has its problems.
Yeah.
I personally don't like the ICC, and that's a lot of people's opinions.
That's like 90% of the Sydney
Yeah,
Congoers' opinions at the moment.
And it's hard on. I know it's hard on Smash to try and get a new place, but I really hope that they're able to break their contract with ICC, or at least like be able to outlast it.
Yeah.
And be able to move.
Yeah, no, I got nothing more to say on that one because I think we covered it. But this next one though, this was apparent on both fucking days of the con, which was the crowds.
Yeah, like, yes, again, it doesn't help they kind of sort of oversold.
No, but it was also the fact of the matter is there was a point on the Sunday where I couldn't even get into Artist Alley.
Yes.
Because there was so many people going into Artist Alley.
I feel so sorry for so many artists where their booths were just crowded. That's one thing I noticed, that the because they had to fit so many artists in, it was very tight.
Yeah.
You could barely walk down some hallways. Even like later in the day, it was still really crowded. I know there's quite a few artists that like didn't even got overlooked because people just couldn't get down that aisle, and because say they weren't selling like Genshin Impact or some other like Spy X Family or some other popular series, like they were just being overlooked.
Yeah, no, 100% agree.
Feel sorry for a lot of those artists.
Yeah, no, 100%, because like the whole point of it as well is that they weren't ushering people to move along and space out and that when it's
people were loitering a lot, and it didn't help when someone would stop in the middle. I had quite a few times people would just stop in the middle of the Artist Alley and wanting to take photos of this person, and you can tell the cosplayers like, no, I want to move along, but like they're just stuck. Everyone was stuck still, and you'd get like to a point where you'd have to really tight up against the other person as well. You were sardined in there trying to just get out of the alley.
Yeah, no, agreed, 100%. Yeah. Okay, and then this is an interesting one, mainly because like we've been there before and there's been no problems, but it was only apparent this year, which was the Chinese Gardens of Friendship.
Yeah, that was weird.
Okay, so did you go in there?
No, I didn't end up getting in. And
Okay, so basically
there was like a massive lineup to get in, like wait list, message list.
Okay, so basically, from what I heard and what I saw, they were actually charging cosplayers only on the day and photographers and that. But if you were the general public, you got in for free still. I would like to say that is so bad if that actually is true, because I just heard it from somebody, but that's what they said as well, because they tried to get into the gardens and they said they wanted to charge them. I think it was like $5 to $10 or something.
Yeah, because I heard the whole thing of that you only got a limited amount of time before you were kicked out. So I was like, no, I'm not even going to try for Chinese gardens. It's too hard to work out with a photographer to take photos in there and time it correctly. But no, yeah, it's sad because you're in the city, you're so limited of where you can take photos, being it is the city.
Yeah.
Like Olympic Park, you've got more freedom because it is a park. It's an actual Kathy Freeman Park is a public park, where the city you're limited to kind of the ICC, and even though there is a park attached to it, there are kids running around like crazy, and it doesn't help that it's also a splash pad park. So you've got that whole issue, which is a issue in itself. But
yeah, no, 100% agree on that, because so when I took photos with your Sakura, we had to be very careful of where we shot.
Yeah.
I'm glad of the location that we got, which I still think my favorite one.
And probably were really good that because we did ours at night, so there was no kids around. There was only people who were still lingering around from the convention taking photos.
Like, I still reckon my favorite shots that I did was the one in front of the Chinese gardens, like the side, side part. The reflection shot obviously is like
that's iconic.
And then the other one on the water where
you're
on
like, the little stepping stills type
thing. That one was
that one was really good. That's one of my favorites.
But that was the fun part of waiting until the con was done, and then we were like, you know what, fuck it, let's just get photos, and you know.
I mean, I personally was staying in the city, so I had nothing better to do but go back to my hotel and probably eat and sleep and get out of cosplay. Which personally, I didn't want to get out of cosplay. I took time and effort to put that wig on and put my makeup on, to be honest. So.
Yeah. But no, Smash as an overall con, what do we give it?
Yeah.
I'd give it like a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah, it was good. I will always go to Smash. I will always plan the whole event, plan the whole weekend to go to Smash. It's just, it's hard when you've gone to too many Smashes. Now, like, if you were going in fresh-eyed, I know my youngest sister went in for the first time, and she had a ball. She got to interact with everything for the first time, but it's hard when you've been there too many times. You're kind of just there for the convention now. Like, the novelty of it is kind of faded away.
It is.
But it's still one of my favorite conventions.
Also, it's like one of the only good anime conventions we have left now, because we used to have Madman Anime Festival, which is now Crunchyroll Festival.
Which is no longer in Sydney.
Yeah, so they moved it back to Melbourne because apparently Melbourne is the thing. But but no, seriously, you get a pass from our Smash. There's just a couple of things that you should probably look into. I would highly recommend it because, you know.
Yeah, Smash is always good, and it's a really good first convention, I find.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So we're gonna move on now to the next con, because this one was an interesting one for both of us this year. So we're gonna move on to Oz Comic Con Sydney. So this is gonna be an interesting one. So transition to Oz Comic Con. All right, and we're back. We're here for Oz Comic Con Sydney. Now, yes, I said this one was an interesting one because originally I actually said I didn't know if I was gonna go to it or not. But I'm glad I went now because I didn't cosplay to it. I actually tried out new things. Yeah, no, I tried new things this year. Instead of like me constantly cosplaying, because like I'm not gonna lie, like I've been doing cosplay a lot longer than what you have, and it's like you get to a point where you just like you feel burnt out, and it's like doing this year was really refreshing. So instead of me doing cosplay, I did photos, and I actually did a cosplay showcase video from Oz Comic Con. It was only with a small group of people that I trusted, and like that were my friends. I think there was only one person that was new, that I just met that time. But like other than that, like everyone was friends with like each other and that, and like we were all. I was basically doing stuff that it was out of my comfort zone, but like it was fun to do, if that makes sense. So that was why I was very surprised with myself that year, like this year for Oz Comic Con. But I also was genuinely surprised at Oz Comic Con for the fact that I actually enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it, but that was because I had my little 99 group, which I love every single one of them so dearly. And then we also had like Oz Comic Con put on an official Critical Role meetup, and this was the first time I've ever been to a proper meetup.
Yeah.
Like a proper meetup, and oh my god, I will die for every single one of them. I love the critter community so much. And there were so many critters.
Yeah, no, that was awesome.
I love them all so much.
That was awesome. Me doing the cosplay showcase in your Vexalia.
Yes. I'm actually surprised with how that Vexalia came out. Like, she was a rush job in my eyes.
Literally though, I caught that on camera. I was like, fuck, I caught it.
Oh my god, I should have known.
But no, like doing that entire like video was actually fun to do.
Actually, I'm kind of also surprised at myself because this was the first OzCon in a very long time where I haven't done a competition.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh wait, there was a competition as
there
well.
Was a competition.
Yes.
This was the first ever OzCon really that I haven't entered the cosplay competition, so it kind of like chilled out my day. I wasn't stressing about being perfect.
Yeah. All right. So before we lose topic, we have our pros and cons this time around. We do have actual like honest pros that we were so shocked about when we were there. Because Oz Comic Con did a pop-up last year or the year before?
2021, start of 2021.
Okay, yeah. So
just as we came out of the first lockdown.
Okay, so we didn't really think much of it back then because it's like, it's a pop-up, no one really cares about it. And then we moved on to the actual con itself, which the first thing I want to talk about, Artist Alley. Holy crap, there were so many good things that came out of that. Like, yes, the layout was a bit skew-if and that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm not going to deny that. But what they had there surprised the hell out of me.
Yeah, there was actually really good variety as well. Like, kind of surprised. Surprised that I got prints that I've never seen before. I sadly didn't get to do much of the Artist Alley just because first day it was boiling in that hall. Like, both halls, I was in body pain and I just could not stay in there. But that was because it was like storming.
Yeah.
It was building up to storm, so it was kind of the humidity of it, but like it was when I got to do it end of Sunday, I was actually quite surprised. It's quite interesting. It's small, it's not like
Well, I got a couple of things. I got a new eater bag that I still need to do a video on, so I'm going to do that at some point when I can. And I also got a new set of ears. I didn't expect them to come down to
I was kind of surprised
to OzCon because I've been buying their ears a lot because I support them. They're a really good, nice company. They're called Charmed Fauna. Go check them out. Literally, they came down and I was just like, wow, I'm actually genuinely shocked that you came down for OzCon. Like, you got approved in that. But no, just Artist Alley as a whole. And like, the layout for like the front hall and some of the back hall was actually great. And I love the fact that they had food trucks and that at the very back. The only thing is I didn't know that it was there though.
Yeah, I didn't know that was there because that's normally where the stage area is. But they kind of made the stage area a bit smaller to put the food trucks there. My only if about it is that obviously you had to have a ticket to the event to be able to go and get food from the food trucks, which is a bit hard because the food trucks are normally so expensive. Like it's
usually
like a small
we're
little pot of chips is like $10.
like usually we're surviving off Macca's and Portos
Yeah.
and all that sort of stuff. But no, the layout was good. Same with Artist Alley. Artist Alley was like phenomenal. This topic you really liked, like, because like this also goes back into the layout and that as well, where they were located as well. And this goes to the cosplay spotlight.
I really like the cosplay spotlight. That's a really good move on Oz Comic Con in the sense that, one, you're showing cosplayers that normally won't get shown. Like, a good friend of mine, cosplay coach, he was the first one at the Canberra convention when they first trialed it out. And then he also came over from Perth actually for Oz Comic Con Sydney, and like it was a chance for him to show his prints. I also had another really good friend of mine, Obscure Girl Cosplay. She was there showing off her works for the first time. I saw and made friends with another cosplayer on the other side. They were genuinely good, and I'm kind of shook, and I really hope they keep building on this idea.
And not only that, they put it with the photographers as well.
Yeah,
that's the main thing as well, because like not half the time, like the photographers that they get are people that like they have shot.
Yeah.
Like so, it makes sense because then it's like you get to not only do you get to see what people's works are, and then you get to see like photographers in action and that.
On that, they had 4 photographers shooting all at once. And I was talking to Matt Hudson before Oz Comic Con and found out that the normal photo wall, so normally in the past they would have like a photo wall and it'd be in sessions, and it's whenever you go is whatever photographer's on, and one of those situations. But no, Oz Comic Con decided to have like 3 different photo walls. They had, I can't remember the photographer from her.
I can't remember, but I know who you're talking
about. Israel photos at Pax.
Cadeas.
Yeah, that's it. He was on one wall. You had Matt Hudson and Valiant Knight on the other wall, and then you had the main wall that had the Oz Comic Con sign. I can't remember who was on that one.
I can't remember. I think though they rotated at that point.
I think his name was Dom.
Something
like that. But what I loved is they also had the option of not having the Oz Comic Con photo, like big words in the background, which is really useful, especially for like content creators like us, where having that Oz Comic Con sign in the wall is kind of in the way.
Yeah.
Like, I would prefer, if I'm going to like a photo area, to just have a black wall.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Which also gave the photographers a lot more freedom, like
of lighting
I know Matt and Mike were using like smoke, which was really cool and really fun to play with as well.
Exactly. Yeah, no, 100%. That sort of stuff is what we as content creators and photographers and videographers and that love, is the fact that like if you don't have so many logos obstructing and that, you can then have more freedom in your choice. And I've always been, so I do photography mainly like within like the environment and how I see things. I 100% not gonna lie, I am a fucking amateur at it. I'm not professional in any way, shape or form. I don't believe I am. And I literally am doing it for fun, but people seem to have liked my work so far. But that's the main thing, is that when you're a photographer and you look for stuff that works well, like as you said, like they were using smoke effects and that, add it with the lighting and that, it makes it pop a lot more. There's a photo on my private Facebook from Go Atomic. I don't know if you went to it.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I know exactly.
So that's my friend. That's my friend. MPZR photography, right? And that was my favorite photo of the blue and pink lighting with the smoke. That was my favorite photo. But yeah, no, like it's stuff like that. That's why I absolutely loved.
And the thing is that like you can get through more cosplayers and more people have that chance to get that really nice high quality photo of themselves. Like, and it doesn't matter if you're like a first time cosplayer or a like veteran cosplayer, like you got a really nice photo, and you often didn't have to wait that very long. Depending on what time, say if you went during, say, midday, yeah, you had to wait maybe like 10 or so minutes, but they'd just message you. But you had options to go to other photographers and as well check out those like cosplay spotlights.
Yeah.
Which, like, and then they also had like the cosplay repair area.
Yep, that too. Like all of that is just what made that specifically made me happy to see.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying I'm done with cosplay. Like I may cosplay one thing to a convention or something, depending on how I feel. I don't know. But having seen that, it makes me so happy.
You still got a cosplay Percy with me.
Oh shit!
Oh.
I've been outed. Yeah, I do have to cosplay Percy at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, and then last but not least for the pro that I have here is location. Everyone now knows that Oz Comic Con's at Olympic Park, and I just absolutely love it because it's out of the way, yeah, by public transport because you got to get a train to, I think it's Lidcombe, and then you got to change there. I get that, but I prefer that as opposed to the ICC because it's more open. Yeah. It's more open, and I feel as though the photos that you can get there are so much more
interesting, different,
yeah, interesting. But just like there's more variety.
There's variety, yeah, and as well, if you decide to take like a few seconds out of your day to walk somewhere, like you walk down to the wood chop area that's quite often open. If not, like there's places around to take photos if you just take a few minutes out of your day.
So this is another one too, okay? This wasn't out of the way or anything. It was nearby the actual dome and that. But that photo I took of your Jester.
Yeah, that was at the wood chop, in front of the wood chop area.
Yeah, no, literally, I'm gonna throw the photo here. It hasn't been uploaded to their profile yet, but it's I took this photo with my new lens as well. This is where I trialed out new stuff. I trialed a new gimbal and that, and my new lenses and all that sort of stuff. And I took this photo, and for some bizarre reason, the aesthetic was just magic on it, and I don't know why. I literally cannot work out why.
Because I'm in it.
Keep talking yourself up. No, hang on.
But it was really pretty.
No, it really was. Like, hang on, I'm just gonna go back and have a quick look at it, because like it was one of those photos where it was like, was it this one? Yeah, it was that one. I just don't know. Like, it popped because like you have the slight reflection of the water and that. You have the lights in the background. Those are so pretty though.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's the thing. The Olympic Park's really pretty at night as well. Like, it's all very well lit because it's an area designed to be there during the night time because you've got all the restaurants around. Normally you're there at night for like a lot of the concerts and the games and all of that. So it's very, very nice area if you decide to stay back maybe just after the convention's finished. And once everyone goes home, there's not many people around. So you get some really good photos at the convention with no people behind you.
Yeah, no, exactly, 100%. Like,
and as well, location in the sense of hotels.
Oh, yeah, no.
Oh,
no,
my
that,
gosh.
yes.
I know for ICC...
Oh, you're paying an arm and a leg, yeah.
You're paying an arm and a leg to be in the city, where I normally... If you book in early enough, normally if you go a bit too close to the convention, normally it's booked out. But the Novotel is such a nice hotel to stay in for a convention.
Yeah.
And like it's right there, like everything is right there for you, which is really nice. And it's cheap, like...
Yeah, it really is.
Like, yes, okay, you're still paying for the convenience of waking up at the convention, but still, it is like, it's not as bad as what people, like, I would have thought it would be, or compared to the city at least.
Yeah, no, 100% agree on that. Alright, I think we're done with pros. Do we want to do the cons?
Dun, dun, dun.
So we have 3 here. They're kind of an interesting one. The first one is a standard one that we said about Supanova. Give us a fucking lanyard, considering media passes and that had lanyards.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry to say, it's the same. Look,
you know what makes me really sad? I see American conventions, so like, they have, most American conventions I find have the lanyards. But one thing they do is this ribbon system where if you go around, you can get ribbons to add to your lanyards. And it's like, I know DragonCon. DragonCon's very much known for doing this. I wish to go to DragonCon one year, but like you see people walking around with just lanyards of just ribbons and ribbons and ribbons, and like they collect them. It's a collectible item as well. But like, there's so much you can do with a lanyard, and as well, it's a souvenir from the convention.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to. There it is. There's one. I think no. Hang on. They did have the wrist thing from memory, didn't they?
Yeah, because we both had the issue of the wrong wristbands on the Sunday.
Yeah, that's right. So why can't
On the Saturday, sorry.
Oh, we must have done a very good job of hiding them then. Fuck.
More than likely.
No.
You kind of get used. You kind of learn how to hide them.
Look, it's just a general critique. We know that it might not change because you guys don't want to prevent unwanted people from coming in, and I get that 100%. But yeah, it's just a suggestion. We're not actually saying, hey, maybe you should.
It'd be really cool.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. Okay, this one is a very controversial topic because it's been popping up recently in the last like couple of months now. Actually, I think, or at least
I think it primarily has started this convention season for Australia.
Yeah, this is a very interesting one because I'm a firm believer that that it's like you can use it, but you should credit what's going on.
Credit where credit is due should be in play.
Yeah, so what we're talking about here is actual cosplay photos that are used for your promotional marketing material. This is a very hot topic because like I know for a fact that like you got to promote it and that, but that's why you have you have the official photographer for the event, as in like not media or anything like any outsiders, like an actual person hired. Like their job is they work for Oz Comic Con and they're the official photographer.
And as well, like even a photographer that like but will go up to you and say, "Hi, I'm wanting to take a photo for our publicity. Are you okay with that?" Like actually verbally saying, like, "Are you okay with us using you as promotional content?" Because obviously a lot of people out there can't have their photo on the internet.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you've got to be mindful. Even though you're in... Cosplay is not consent! Like, you got to be mindful of... Even though they're in cosplay and they kind of want... Like, if someone wants to take photos, it might be for them.
Yeah.
It's not for promotional use.
Yeah, exactly. No, I 100% agree. I 100% agree if you use promotional materials, you tag whoever the cosplay is because you should have that on file.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they take your name down and then also take your like cosplay tag if you have one or if you can provide one.
But yeah, no, I'm a firm believer on that one. If you don't like, also any of these opinions and that, I want to hear your hot takes and like your negatives about certain cons and that. Comment them down below. I want to go through and read these and like get more opinions on this. Maybe do a follow-up video in the new year even and see like, hey, this is what we want out of the year and that. That would be a very interesting one. But yeah, no, I 100% agree with the whole. Definitely like, if you don't want your photo on the internet and that they should respect that as well.
Yeah.
Because I think I know what you're talking.
Yeah, yeah, it's probably wording it incorrectly, but.
No, but like it's fair. Okay, and then this one's just a gripe for me, but a lot of other people that were doing this as well. So, when Oz Comic Con happened, it happened on the very last of the weekend of the month. PAX was literally 2 weeks after. 1.5 weeks because we left for Melbourne on the Wednesday, like a week, and 3 days later. So, the cons were too close together, and I was really debating whether or not I would go or not. And then I ended up going, and obviously, you know, I started doing more photography, and I did the cosplay showcase and that. But, having said that, I would like to not have to be almost forcing to choose between cons.
Yeah, I know that's with a lot of people with, like, every convention in Australia. The Australian convention season is kind of all over the place. You have, say, I know it went Crunchyroll Expo, and then a week and a half later it went Oz Comic Con, and then it went PAX. So that was the reason why originally, thankfully I didn't go down the Crunchyroll, but that's why I chose not to go down to Crunchyroll, because I knew Oz Comic Con was too close, and then I would have been going back down for PAX anyway.
Yeah.
So, it's just a thing of cons kind of still need to talk to each other, like all over Australia.
Yeah, no.
Not just within the state. And even at that, we have issues with Supanova and Smash. They're not even a month apart. They're less than a month. I want to say 2 weeks apart.
This time it was a month.
Barely, I think it was though.
I think it was like a couple of days off a month, but like it was roughly a month.
It was still very close together though.
Yeah. But no, I agree with that.
That's just a kind of a Sydney problem though, where we have our 2 main cons right in the middle of the year, no con for like
2 months.
2 months, one last con, and that's it for our season.
And then, unless you are like us, in which case you go to PAX, then...
Which is, to be honest, that's a privilege of being able to go to another state to go to a convention. Not everyone has the privilege of doing that.
Yeah, no.
Because obviously it's expensive.
Yeah.
PAX, I spent like a good $600 just on flights and accommodation alone just to go to the convention.
Yeah, which is cheaper than a lot of other conventions,
Yeah,
but it's a privilege. Yeah,
it's a privilege.
All right, so final thoughts on Oz Comic Con. What do we reckon?
I had a really good con. It also helped that I was with a lot of really good people throughout the whole convention.
That like it made the vibe like really well. Like that was the same with me. Like when I started doing photos and that. So I did photos of your Jester in the morning.
Yeah.
Only because, you know, you got privilege rights. Because I used you for promoting material. At least I tagged you.
Calling out a certain person there.
No, but this is the thing. It was just a good vibe all around, and I truly wasn't so like negative about it this time. I'm usually negative about Oz Comic Con, like, but this time around I wasn't.
It doesn't help that we've had quite a few bad Oz Comic Cons, which is it's good to see that they're finally turning a light. If you remember back to even Oz Comic Con 2019 when they first moved to Olympic Park, like, not gonna lie, that convention was terrible.
Yeah, no. I stayed outside for most of that con.
Yeah, I think the only time I was in there was when I entered the competition, and that was about it. But no, that was a massive cosplay as well. And then like 2020, it was alright. It wasn't bad, but you could tell that they had been hit by COVID, so they had to shrink everything down.
Yeah.
But I'm happy Oz Comic Con's kind of finding their roots again. It's not like old Oz Comic Con, but like I think it'll slowly build over time.
No, 100% agree. I recommend this con like as a whole, like, because it's such a good vibe.
It's a nice one, and as well, normally the weather's nice, the people are nice. Like I don't think I've ever had really any bad experience.
No, 100%.
Personally, obviously.
But yeah, no,
It's pretty fun.
Pretty fun. I agree. And with that, we only have one more con left that we need to discuss. So,
my favourite con. Or my now favourite con.
So, we're going to talk about PAX Australia. So, yes, the con that I literally got back from like 3 months ago. Because apparently I can't upload anything. Or 2 months ago, I should say. But yes, let's talk about PAX. So, transition. Let's go! Alright, and we're back. So, let's talk about PAX. So, this is my 6th or 7th PAX. I think it's my 6th PAX. This was your first.
Yeah.
So, this is a very interesting one to talk about because here's the thing. I never have an issue with PAX. I don't have any pros and I don't have any cons because the thing is, the con itself is done by an American company. It's actually done by Reed Pop, I think, or whoever, or Reed Exhibitionists, or whatever it is. So they're an American company, and they're the ones that also help out with the Penny Arcade Expo over in the States.
Ooh.
This is why I have no issues with it. This is why I wanted to introduce like a lot of my other friends to it as well that haven't been before, or they've been and it's been a long time, because I never have a problem with PAX. Like, plain and simple, I'm not going to say anything. Like, maybe, like, a couple of small nitpicks things here and there, but that's obviously also due to the fact that with PAX, they actually rent out the entirety of the MCEC, the Melbourne Convention.
And not give half of it to a cheerleading team.
Oh! Fucking you, Crunchyroll. Nah.
I would like to stick with my point.
But no, here's the thing though, okay? What are your honest opinions of PAX? Because, like, as I said, I don't have any pros and cons for it. Like, maybe like a small couple of nitpicky things, but like, even then, there was nothing wrong with it. Like, the only one major con that I have is something that was also out of the company's controls as well. So I'm not really entirely blaming them and PAX on it. But do you?
I really like it. I will definitely be going back to it each year. I've always wanted to go to PAX. It's just I was meant to go to PAX in 2020, but obviously the Penaroni happened, and then obviously it just kept getting pushed back, and then finally it happened. But no, yeah, it's a vibe. Like, there's a lot of people go to it, and actually surprised how many cosplayers go to it as well.
Yeah, no.
I heard in the past about, like, there wasn't many cosplayers.
In the past, there wasn't, like, when it first started, but then as PAX kept going on, it just kept growing. Like, when Overwatch did a thing at PAX, there was a lot of, like, Overwatch cosplayers. There was an actual Overwatch. There was, like, an actual Overwatch cosplay meetup. There was League of Legends and all the major games and that. Yeah. And it just kept going.
On meetups, I love that there's so many fan meetups, like community meetups. We had the Critical Role meetup the Friday, Saturday and Sunday, which was all planned over the Critters Australia page.
I had the official League of Legends one that was organised, so I got to go to that one, which was really cool.
Like, when I tell you the Saturday was the biggest, I was actually in my peak element there.
You were mind blown.
I was mind blown because I got to meet so many people that, like, I've only ever gotten to see on Instagram and, like, TikTok and, like internet friends, right? And it was just so, like, actual shocking to see all of them all in Critical Role cosplays, like, while I'm also in my favourite character, like, Jester Lavore. I love cosplaying her. Just, like, the whole energy around that was so positive.
Yeah, no, that too. Like, all the League cosplayers, there were like 50-something League cosplayers that went to that thing, and it was like
about that as well.
And it was like the amount of people that were, like, talking and that, it was so cool.
Yeah.
But no, like here's the thing, right? PAX has always been one of my favorite cons, and now you've experienced it because now you know why I love it to death. It was so great.
Doesn't help. Melbourne's just such a chill place to hang out. Mm-hmm. Like, the central Melbourne CBD, like, there's so much to do and so many places just to chill out. Like, we went and took photos.
Oh yeah, we did.
We did. What was it? Sunday.
The Sunday.
Because I was busy taking photos with everyone else.
Yeah, you wanted photos of me, and then you were just like, nah.
No, because I was busy. But, like, like, we were able to actually go out and take photos, and we didn't get shooed off like we do in Sydney.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Like, I think that's what also made the con great for you, from what you were telling me. Yeah. Like, both you and Sierra, you were both telling me it was just, like, the amount of, like, vibe you got from it that, you know, there was stuff to still go on, like, like, during the night and that. Yeah. There was also, like, the fact that we all hung out for, like, dinner and that, and, like, we actually did stuff that was, like, the only time that I didn't do dinner or anything with you guys was the fact that I went to an after party on Saturday.
Which, if we knew about it, we probably would try to get tickets as well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but, like, that's the thing. It's like, there were so many things to do across that weekend, and that's what I absolutely love about PAX, because I went to the Fortress after party, got to meet so many new people that were awesome, like, 100% awesome, in, like, they're all content creators and that, and it was just a vibe, like.
And the good part about it is there's something for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if you're not into video games, there's, like, still stuff to do, and even at that, like, there is actual stuff to do. Like, if you are into a lot of the esports, there's esports to watch. There's, like, you can trial the new equipment because Logitech was there.
Logitech was there. Fucking Meta was there.
Yeah. Like, and as well, these companies had sales on, so you could try their stuff and then buy it straight away as well and get it shipped to you. And so many of them were like so open. And so personally, I'm like big into a lot of the TTRPGs, so Dungeons and Dragons, and oh my god,
you were so overwhelmed.
The amount of money I was going to spend. I'm really sad I didn't spend more and buy more dice. I am a dice goblin.
But you were so overwhelmed with the amount of stuff. I told you there was so much stuff, and I was like...
I was really shocked. And even that, there was stuff that I didn't even realize until, like, the end of convention that was happening.
Yeah.
Like, I've gotten into LARP, live action roleplay, and the LARP group down there, Swordcraft, was down there. Originally, I just thought they were just selling some epic armory stuff, like LARP swords and such, and just promoting their games. No, they had a like weekend-long game that anyone could join, which boggles my mind. And I do hate that it was so tucked away, and it was kind of like you had to know it was on.
Yeah, no. But that's also like, this is your first con, so we're not faulting anything with that. Yeah, so it's like now you know.
Now I know it's on. I'm probably gonna do that one day. Like, that's one thing that I really wish I did more while I was there, was actually sit down and do like the mini paintings and such, and like play a lot more of the games. Like, I got to look and play a few of the games, but I didn't get to play everything, and I really. Like, next year, I'm planning on doing that. Like, that's probably going to be all my first day.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah. Like, like, as we said, we don't really have any, like, negative things. It's, like, more nitpicky things. Yeah. Like, it's, like, that's the thing. I guess we can spoil, like, the start of the video, what we were going to say. We're both going to say what our favourite con is, and it's what we're talking about now.
A little.
A little?
Just a little.
Like... I'm sorry to say, like, PAX does everything right, and I've never had an issue with PAX.
To me, you can tell they make it like how they make the American conventions. Like, I don't know, a lot of the Australian conventions, so Supanova and, like, Oz Comic Con, try their hardest to try and make it very Australianized, trying to make it, like, their own, where I really just want something like I see on, like, a lot of my favorite influencers, like my favorite cosplay influencers get to go to, like, that experience. I'm kind of over the whole half-baked trying to do it, but trying to be itself, like, type thing, where PAX very much felt like an American convention.
Yeah, no, 100% agree on that. I'm always a big believer in that. Like, and this goes back to the thing that I was saying before, is the fact that I always will want to go to PAX. I do not care. Like, as soon as I see the dates, I've already put in my holidays and my full-time job and that. I've already done that, and I'm like, all right, who's going? We need to freaking get this organized, because
even the dates haven't come out, and we're starting to organize stuff for next year.
Yeah, no, 100%. We're literally organizing stuff, like, and it's not even, the dates haven't even been announced yet. So. Yeah, no. I think PAX is, like, a solid, like, you have to go to it if you get a chance to.
If you get the chance to. I think my only very nitpick was the fact that they had the voice actor of Junker Queen.
And they didn't say anything.
And they did not announce her. I get she was a last minute thing, but at the same time, I personally would have loved to take down my Overwatch cosplay, like my Mercy cosplay, and get to, like, meet her.
Yeah, no.
In person.
Oh, and then that's the other nitpicky thing too, is the fact that there weren't any big major companies there. But it does make up for the fact that I got to see so many fucking Australian indie game developers and that, which I think is a...
Cult of the Lamb was there. I was so happy that Cult of the Lamb was there.
A lot of people apparently didn't know it was an Aussie game.
Yeah, no. Personally, I didn't know it was an Aussie game until I went there, and I got talking to them and such, and they're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my god, this is, like, my favorite game at the moment.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, that, like... Not gonna lie, like, I wish Nintendo, PlayStation, and Xbox were there, and maybe, like,
Hoyoverse?
Blizzard, Riot, and Hoyoverse, Though, I kind of wish that they were there, but, you know, I do love PAX in the fact that, you know, you get to see a lot of indie game developers and that, and then you get to see, like, a lot of, like, the Australian distributor companies that help bring stuff over.
TTRPG games, like, I know the writers of Grim Hollow, which is a D&D 5th edition game that I'm actually playing. They were there, and I actually got talking to them, which was really interesting.
It's always great when the people that you meet. Like, funnily enough, so I like where I work. You know, a lot of the people that I've dealt with and that they were actually there, and like we got to meet up finally and that and then not only that, and it's like you get to meet all these other people. Like you get to connect with a lot of people. So
and you get to make so many friends. Like who was it? Rob, I believe his name was, your friend that was also into Critical Role.
Yes.
Yeah, we were talking for like a solid hour, and we became really good friends. And then as well, like other cosplayers, I like obviously cosplaying the same thing. We just got talking, sharing Instagrams and such, and like, obviously, people I've never got to meet in person, like I said, getting to talk to them for the first time.
Yeah, no, that's what we love about it. This is why I always say, I will go to PAX. The amount of people you end up becoming friends with, and you just see, and you're just so happy to be there.
Yeah.
Like you saw me, I was so freaking happy there.
No, yeah, I was the exact same.
So, Performing Arts is one of the only few people that's actually seen me at my low moments, actually, funnily enough, this year. It only started to pick back up when I went down to Melbourne, and then like I finally was happy in that. So like even then I was like, I got to see all of my friends, like even some of my friends that moved from Sydney to Melbourne. I got to see them again. So CC Viper is my longest time friend, and I finally got to see them again. Because also, by the way, go check out Pax Day 2, like the actual vlog day 2 of the con. The thumbnail.
I love that so much.
She gave me permission to that. It was pretty funny though, because she fucking came over and was just like, actually, I'm gonna play the clip. Okay, here's the clip. Doing a meetup now.
You like my Pax Aus.
The fucking pissy balls, goddamn. But yeah, no, literally, she was so fucking brilliant. Like, I just love meeting all my friends again. It's so great, and it's like I didn't even get to see all of the con. Like, it was there's just so much.
Jinx.
Fuck. But yeah, no, like, sorry to end the PAX thing on saying that PAX is our favorite con of the year, but you know,
it's kind of a bias, and I will say it's a nice thing to look forward to at the end of the year.
It is, because this is what happens. It then explored into us, you know, going on adventures and that. Pretty much we hung out almost every day.
Yeah.
The only day I didn't see you was Tuesday, and that was when you were leaving.
Because we were leaving, and because we had a late night flight, and we're like, oh, let's just like kind of chill out. You just
vibed for the day, and I was vibing with my Melbourne friends.
Yeah.
So it was like
that and Thursday, but we didn't get in till late, and we were going to see Harry
Potter.
No, we did see each other as well.
No, because you fucking found us. You fucking found us in the middle of Burke Street. I'm like, no, sorry, what was it? So,
in front of Myers.
Yeah, no, it was, and I was like, fuck, all right, fair. God damn.
Love it.
Alright, let's do our final thought roundup now. So let's refresh the scene. We're gonna do our final thoughts, and then we're gonna end the video there. So final thoughts time. Alright, and it's time for the final thought wrap up. So we kinda spoiled it already. PAX is our top con. It's always been my top con of the year as well. Like, I can't deny that, because like there's been times in the previous years of PAX and that where you've gotten free stuff from like game companies and that, and it's just like so great. So there's one.
Oh, and the badge collecting.
And the badge.
Sorry, the pin collecting. I sadly didn't collect as many pins as I wanted to, but like I think that's definitely my goal for next PAX is to get more pins.
Yeah, no, 100%. Okay, so my list would be. PAX is obviously number 1. Yeah. Oz Comic Con surprisingly makes it as number 2 because of how much it surprised me. Number 3 is Smash.
Yeah.
Number 4 is Supanova, and then 5, unfortunately, is Central Coast Comic Con.
Yeah.
The only reason I say that is because, you know,
it's a small convention. It's good for what it is, but it's not a major convention, not a must do.
Yeah, and then Supanova, you know, it's the same stuff every year, so I can't really say it. Smash was like half and half because you know, look, I got a media pass from Smash, but I also I did see some flaws in a couple of things. So, but it's not
it had its highlights, but it also had its downfalls.
Yeah, Oz Comic Con surprised me the most.
Yeah.
With how good it turned out to be, which I was very surprised about. And then obviously PAX.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a must do.
Yeah, no, 100%. No, 100%. But yeah, we're going to end the video there now, but I want to thank you so much. If you stuck around for the whole entire video, you are a legend, honestly. But no, tell us below, if you're in Sydney, or Australia in general, what cons do you like? What are your favourites? Do you have any local cons that you absolutely love to go to?
Any recommendations? What ones we should go to?
Yeah, no, depending on if we do travel interstate more often, please let us know. We want to hear from you. So, but no, hope you all enjoyed this one. Thank you, Performing Arts, for coming onto this video as my guest, because I couldn't think of anybody else more so than you. I'm the only other person I could have thought of. Unfortunately, they had a child, so now they're constantly busy. So I can't actually ask them to come on.
Either pick the person that's had a child or pick the child.
pretty much. But yeah, no. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you all in the next video. So, bye.